These are 7 things that quietly vanish after you retire. Things you might not fully expect until you're living them every day. If you're already retired or approaching this transition, this might help you feel less alone in what you notice shifting around you. There's a particular kind of morning that catches you by surprise. You wake naturally, without the alarm's harsh intrusion. Sunlight filters through the curtains at an angle you've rarely seen, because for decades you were already gone by this hour. The house is still. Not the frantic stillness of those rushed minutes before leaving for work, but a deeper quiet, one that seems to wait for you to fill it. And then it arrives, that strange feeling. Not quite loneliness, not quite relief. It's the sound of silence where there used to be noise. The absence of structure where there used to be certainty. For 40 years or more, your days were choreographed by others, meetings, deadlines, obligations. Now suddenly, the choreographer has left the stage. And you're standing there wondering, what do I do with all this quiet? Many people imagine retirement as endless freedom, and in some ways it is. But what nobody tells you is this: freedom can feel disorienting when you've spent a lifetime being directed. The Buddha understood this deeply. He taught that all things are impermanent, what Buddhists call anicca. The work that structured your life, the roles that defined you, even the noise that filled your days, none of it was ever permanent. And now that it's gone, you're being offered something rare, the chance to discover what remains when everything else falls away. These 7 silences aren't losses. They're invitations, openings, sacred spaces where you can finally hear what your soul has been trying to say beneath all the noise. And if you stay with me through all 7, the last one might surprise you most of all. So let's explore them together, not with sadness for what's gone, but with curiosity for what's emerging. Because in Buddhist understanding, every ending creates a beginning. And this silence, it might just be the most important conversation of your life. One of the first things you might notice is that some friendships simply fade. Not because anything dramatic happened, not because there was conflict or betrayal, but because life stages shifted and you're suddenly living in a completely different rhythm than almost everyone around you. Most people are still working, raising kids, juggling obligations. They're busy from morning to night, and you suddenly have all this free time stretching across your days. The overlap that kept the connection alive starts to slip away. Even long-time friendships, the kind you assumed were permanent, can just go quiet. You check your phone and notice you haven't heard from Janet in weeks. Janet, who sat 3 desks over for 15 years, who knew your coffee order, who laughed at your jokes, who understood exactly what you meant when you rolled your eyes at that particular manager's weekly memo. You think about texting her, but what would you say? The shared language you spoke, the office politics, the project updates, his inside jokes about the broken copy machine, that language no longer applies. She's still caught in the current you just stepped out of. The friendship, you realize with a small ache, was built on proximity and shared circumstance. And when those conditions changed, the connection began to fade. Maybe you had that happen with a few people you cared about for years. And it's strange how natural it feels, even while being unexpectedly painful. This is one of retirement's quietest griefs. Not dramatic, not discussed at retirement parties, but real nonetheless. The Buddha taught this truth over and over. Relationships, like everything else in life, arise from conditions. When conditions change, so do the bonds they create. He didn't say this to make us cynical, but to help us see clearly. The fading of work friendships isn't betrayal. It's simply anicca, the law of impermanence, doing what it always does. There's a traditional Buddhist teaching about a monk who spent years studying alongside his brothers in the monastery. When one day he had to leave for a distant temple, his teacher reminded him, the connections built on shared ground naturally shift when the ground changes. This doesn't diminish what you shared. It simply reveals what was always true, that nothing stays the same. Understanding this brings a particular kind of freedom. You can release these friendships without bitterness, with gratitude for what they were when they served you both. And more importantly, you can turn your attention to building something new. Because the truth is, the solution isn't clinging harder to old connections. It's building new ones with people who are living the same kind of days you are now. The Dharma, the Buddhist path, teaches that this stage of life calls for different connections. Not friendships of convenience, but friendships of the heart. After retirement, you have time to seek out people who are walking the same path you're on now. The meditation group that meets Tuesday mornings, the volunteer work at the food bank, where conversations run deep, the neighbor 2 doors down who finally has time for that long walk you've been meaning to take. At 70, you don't need hundreds of casual acquaintances. You need a few real companions who understand this season of life, who know what it's like to wake without an alarm and wonder what the day might hold. Buddhist communities call this Sangha, the practice of gathering with fellow travelers on the path. It's not about replacing what you lost. It's about creating a new community that fits your new life. Another thing that disappears, often almost instantly, is your motivation for your old career. You might think it would stick around. You might assume there'd still be a part of you that cared about professional growth, that still felt a spark when someone mentioned office politics or new opportunities. But the truth is, it vanishes. Sometimes immediately, you wake up one morning and realize you simply don't care about advancement anymore. The drive that once consumed you, the hunger for the next promotion, the better title, the corner office, it's gone like morning mist. At first you might worry something's wrong with you. Shouldn't you still want to achieve, to improve, to climb? But then you sit with it for a moment, and beneath the worry, you find something unexpected. Relief. Because when you're finally free of the structure of a full-time job, something shifts inside you in a way you cannot predict. And to many people, it feels like clarity. The things you used to push yourself toward don't matter once you have actual freedom over your time. The Buddha was right when he taught about tanha, the Sanskrit word for craving, for that endless thirst that's never quite satisfied. For decades you fed that hunger, believing the next achievement would finally be enough. But it never was it? There was always another rung on the ladder, another goal just out of reach. What you're experiencing now isn't the death of motivation, it's the purification of it. You're letting go of the need to become more than you are, and in that release, you're discovering a different kind of energy, one that serves your soul rather than your resume. There's a beautiful Zen story about an old monk who had spent his youth mastering every Buddhist text, memorizing sutras, debating philosophy late into the night. But in his final years, students would find him simply sitting by a stream, watching the water flow over stones. One day, a younger monk approached and asked, "Master, why have you stopped studying? Have you learned everything there is to know?" The old monk smiled. "I finally learned the difference between knowing the Dharma and living it. All those years I was gathering knowledge like stones in my pocket. Now I'm learning to put them down one by one so I can finally walk freely." This is what's happening to you. The motivation that once drove your career, the external validation, the competitive edge, the need to prove yourself, that was tanha. But the energy you feel now, the quiet desire to paint for the joy of it, to garden with full presence, to write stories for your grandchildren simply because you want to, That's something purer. It's what Buddhists call right effort. Not the striving that exhausts you, but the natural unfolding of who you really are. What surprises many people is that motivation doesn't disappear completely. It just reshapes itself. It redirects into the life you actually want to be living. Maybe it's a creative project, a YouTube channel, volunteer work that matters to you. These things motivate you not because you have to do them, but because you choose to. Retirement doesn't erase motivation. It strips away the motivation you only had because you were obligated to have it. You might redirect this energy in ways that surprise you. Maybe you take up that instrument you always wanted to learn, not to perform, not to impress anyone, but because making music brings you alive. Maybe you volunteer teaching adults to read, not to build your resume, but because witnessing someone's face when they sound out their first sentence fills you with a joy no promotion ever did. The Dharma teaches that the later stages of life are actually ideal for this kind of cultivation. You've spent decades building external achievements. Now you get to build something internal: patience, creativity, peace, wisdom. And here's the beautiful truth. This kind of growth doesn't need anyone's approval. It just needs your attention. Something else that goes surprisingly quiet is structure. When you've spent decades in environments where everything is scheduled, work hours, meetings, commutes, deadlines, your days have guardrails built into them. You don't realize how many decisions you're shielded from simply because you have no choice but to follow a routine. When you retire, that scaffolding disappears overnight. It's like walking out of a building and feeling the sudden weight of open space around you. You wake up on a Tuesday morning, and for a moment, you don't know what day it is. Not because your memory is failing, but because Tuesday feels exactly like Monday, which felt exactly like Saturday. The alarm is gone. The morning rush is gone. The meetings, the deadlines, the entire scaffold that held your days upright, all of it has dissolved. At first, this can feel like floating in deep water with no shore in sight. It's genuinely disorienting. For 40 years you knew exactly where you needed to be at 9 o'clock. Now 9 o'clock comes and goes, and nobody needs you anywhere. You might go from checking your calendar constantly to not looking at it at all. Some people sink into depression here. Others numb themselves with television, with busy work that creates the illusion of structure. But the Buddha offers a different path. The problem isn't the absence of structure. The problem is unconscious structure. Living on autopilot, letting others direct your days without ever asking what you truly need. What you're being invited into now is something Buddhists call sati, mindful intention, the practice of choosing consciously how your days unfold. I met a retired teacher named Samuel who wandered aimlessly for the first 6 months after leaving the classroom. He'd wake up, eat breakfast whenever, watch the news, putter around the house, and by evening feel a vague sense that the day had slipped through his fingers like water. Then one morning, he tried something different. He sat with his tea and asked himself, "What does today need? Not what should I do, but what feels right." That morning, he took a slow walk to the park and sat on a bench watching children play. The next day, he wrote a letter to an old friend he'd been meaning to contact. The day after, he spent an hour tending to the small garden behind his house. Slowly, a rhythm emerged. Not a schedule imposed from outside, but a gentle structure that arose from listening to his own heart. "I'm not living by the clock anymore," Samuel told me. "I'm living by what feels true." And strangely, that creates its own kind of order. Not rigid, not stressful, just right. What's interesting is that at first, the lack of structure feels very disorienting. But then you slowly understand that you get to build your own structure now in a way that supports the life you actually want. Not a routine built around work, but a routine built around living. It's strange to go from being pulled through your days to gently steering them yourself. This is the practice the Buddha recommended, creating anchors, not schedules. Maybe your anchor is silence in the morning with a cup of tea, sitting by the window and watching the light change. Maybe it's an afternoon walk through the neighborhood, the same route each day, but each day noticing something new. Maybe it's an evening ritual of lighting a candle and spending 10 minutes in quiet reflection before bed. These aren't obligations, they're invitations to presence. They create just enough structure to hold you without constraining you. And in the spaces between these anchors, you're free to respond to what each day offers: a phone call from a friend, an unexpected idea, the simple joy of doing nothing at all. The Buddha once said, "The days pass, the life passes. Will you use them wisely?" For the first time in decades, your days are truly yours, not your employer's, not your obligations, not even your family's constant demands. Yours. What will you choose to do with that extraordinary gift? Another thing that softens and eventually dissolves after retirement is performance pressure. The pressure to perform, the pressure to produce, the pressure to meet expectations, especially expectations that didn't come from you. When you retire, especially if you retire early, you step out of a culture of proving yourself. There's no supervisor looking over your shoulder, no metrics tracking your productivity, no career ladder you're supposed to be climbing, no inbox full of obligations demanding immediate response. For decades, you were evaluated, ranked, compared. Your worth seemed to depend on your output. And now, suddenly, all of that external validation has vanished. Some people find this terrifying. Without performance markers, how do you know if you're doing well? How do you prove your value? But here's what the Buddha understood: that entire system was an illusion. Your worth was never determined by what you produced. It was never contingent on someone else's approval. Those were just stories you believed because everyone around you believed them too. What's dissolving now is what Buddhists call the comparing mind, that endless habit of measuring yourself against others, against your past self, against some imagined standard of success. The Buddha taught clearly, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. When external validators disappear, you're forced to find worth internally. And that shift from performing for others to simply being yourself is one of the great spiritual opportunities of retirement. When that pressure falls away, you feel your whole body relax in ways you didn't know were possible. You wake up without an alarm now. You can take slow mornings without guilt. You run errands in the middle of the week because you can. You have cups of tea without checking your watch. And when you're not constantly worried about what you should be doing, you start to understand how much pressure you were under for so many years. I spoke with a woman named Ruth, who had been an accountant for 35 years. She was meticulous, driven, widely respected for her precision. After retiring at 67, she told me something that caught me off guard. I don't know who I am when I'm not being excellent at something. She spent that first year feeling oddly worthless. She'd wake up and think, what did I accomplish today? And when the answer was nothing much, she'd feel that familiar twinge of failure. It took 12 months of sitting with that discomfort before she realized, I don't have to be excellent anymore. I don't have to prove anything. I just have to be here. This is the practice of metta, the Buddhist teaching of loving kindness directed toward yourself. Each morning, Ruth began placing her hand on her heart and saying quietly, I am enough as I am. I have nothing left to prove. At first the words felt hollow, but gradually they began to sink in. She noticed she could enjoy a simple walk without turning it into exercise with a goal. She could read a book just because it interested her, not to learn something useful. She could sit in her garden and simply be, without achieving anything at all. It's not that you stop caring about being a responsible adult. It's not that you become lazy or apathetic. It's that you stop performing responsibility. You just live it at your own pace, in your own way. The Buddha taught that one of the deepest forms of suffering comes from the belief that we're not enough until we become something more. We chase achievement, recognition, perfection, thinking that once we reach that distant shore, we'll finally be acceptable. But the shore keeps receding. There's always another goal, another standard, another way we fall short. Retirement, if you let it, can break that cycle. You're no longer auditioning for anyone's approval. You can exhale and be imperfect, unhurried, whole, exactly as you are. This doesn't mean you stop growing or learning. It means you stop measuring your value by external metrics. You finally get to ask, what brings me alive? What feels true? What makes my heart sing? And then you get to follow those questions wherever they lead, without needing anyone's permission. At 70, this is your radical freedom, not the freedom to do whatever you want. You've always had that in theory, but the freedom to be whoever you are, without explanation, without justification. The freedom to stop performing and start living. One more thing that vanishes is that constant sense of urgency. When you're working full-time, everything feels like it has to be done immediately. Emails need instant responses. Errands can't wait. Tasks pile up. Conversations feel rushed. Decisions press on you. You're always mentally sprinting, always trying to squeeze living into the corners of your schedule. The Buddha taught that this is samudaya, the origin of suffering in craving what isn't yet here. We suffer not because life is hard, but because we're constantly leaning forward, grasping for the next moment instead of inhabiting this one. Retirement offers you the chance to stop running and start living. When you retire, the entire tempo of your life shifts. Suddenly, you're not trying to compress everything into narrow windows of time. You're not multitasking every minute. You're not mentally racing through the day, always behind schedule. Mornings stretch out. You can sit and watch birds at the feeder without that nagging voice saying you should be doing something productive. Time, which always felt like it was slipping through your fingers, suddenly feels spacious. At first, the lack of urgency can feel a little suspicious, almost uncomfortable. You wonder if you're forgetting something important or falling behind. Like something must be wrong if you're not constantly rushing. Then it slowly becomes normal. You didn't realize how much of your stress was coming from that constant invisible pressure to go faster, to do more, to respond immediately. There's a famous Zen teaching that captures this perfectly. A student approaches a master and asks, "What is enlightenment?" The master replies, "When eating, just eat. When walking, just walk." The student is confused. "But everyone does that," he protests. The master shakes his head. "No, most people when eating are planning, when walking are worrying, when sitting are anywhere but here. This is your invitation now, to eat breakfast and actually taste the food, to take a walk and notice the quality of light on leaves, the texture of bark, the surprising resilience of moss growing between sidewalk cracks, to sit with a cup of coffee and do nothing else, not check your phone, not make mental lists, just sit with warmth in your hands and quiet in your mind. The urgency dissolves, and what's left is actual presence. You're in the moment you're in. That's something many people didn't even know they were missing. When urgency falls away, time doesn't disappear, it expands. A single cup of tea, drunk with full attention, can hold more richness than an entire rushed morning used to. The body naturally helps with this. At 70, you can't rush the way you used to. Your knees ask you to slow down. Your energy requires you to rest more. Your calendar has finally opened up. What if these aren't curses but invitations? Your body, your circumstances, your life itself, all of it is whispering the same message: be here now, this moment, this breath, this day. Try this as a practice for 1 week. Do one thing at a time. Drink your morning coffee without the news. Do the laundry without listening to a podcast. Walk the dog without running through everything you need to accomplish later. Just be present with what you're doing while you're doing it. This is what Buddhists call mindfulness, not some exotic meditation practice, but simply the return to presence, the willingness to be here instead of always somewhere else. The Buddha taught that now is always the right time, not someday, not when conditions are perfect, not after you've achieved one more thing. Now, and for the first time in decades, you actually have the space to live that truth. Another thing that softens after retirement is ambition. Not ambition in terms of wanting to grow or explore new things, but ambition in the way it's tied to work, the drive that pushes you to get ahead, to achieve the next milestone in your career. That gets quieter. Not because you lose drive as a person, but because the context that required it is gone. The Buddha distinguished between two kinds of desire. There's tanha, the unwholesome craving that's never satisfied, the ego's endless hunger to be more, to have more, to prove more. And then there's what we might call wholesome aspiration, the natural unfolding of your potential, not driven by lack, but by genuine interest. For most of your working life, ambition was tanha. It came from a place of insufficiency, the belief that you weren't enough yet, that you had to keep climbing to finally arrive at some version of yourself that was acceptable. Now that you've stepped off that ladder, you're discovering that growth doesn't end, it just changes direction. Instead of reaching outward for achievement, you can turn inward for cultivation. Many people don't expect this shift to feel as peaceful as it does. When you let go of your old professional identity, it doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like loosening a grip you didn't realize you'd been holding so tightly. Now ambition just looks different. It's not about promotions or external achievements anymore. It's about building a life that feels meaningful. Maybe improving something you own, being creative in ways that bring you joy, taking care of your health, creating something that feels like yours. I met a woman named Linda, 71, who had spent decades climbing the corporate ladder. She made senior vice president, commanded a large team, wielded significant influence. After retirement, she found herself volunteering at a literacy center, teaching adults who'd never learned to read. I still have ambition, she told me. But now I grow by helping others grow. The drive never left. It just found its true home. This is the shift the Buddha described. Ambition becomes internal. Not what can I achieve that the world will remember, but who can I become that I can be at peace with. Not how high can I climb, but how deep can I go. You might find yourself wanting to cultivate patience, and so you take up a practice that requires it, learning a new language, growing vegetables from seed, mastering a musical instrument. You might want to develop creativity, and so you start painting, writing, woodworking, not to sell or show anyone, but simply because the act of creating brings you alive. You might want to nurture compassion, and so you volunteer, you listen more deeply, you offer kindness in small daily ways that nobody notices but you. Ambition doesn't disappear, but the kind that existed only because it was tied to job performance that one does. And honestly, good riddance. The Buddha taught that the final stages of life are actually ideal for spiritual ripening. All those years you spent building a career, raising a family, meeting obligations, those weren't wasted. They were preparation. They taught you things you needed to learn. But now, you're free to focus on what really matters. Not the legacy the world will remember, but the person you can become before this life ends. Ask yourself, what do I want to cultivate in the years I have left? Not achieve, cultivate, like a gardener tending soil. What qualities do you want to nurture in yourself? Maybe it's stillness. Maybe it's generosity. Maybe it's the capacity to forgive, starting with yourself. Write down 3 qualities you want to grow, and then water them daily with your attention. Ambition doesn't disappear with retirement. It transforms. And in that transformation, you might discover that the most important work you'll ever do has nothing to do with productivity and everything to do with presence. And the last thing that goes quiet might be the most surprising of all. The identity you had that was tied to your job. Even if you didn't love your career, it still defined how people saw you and how you talked about yourself. For decades, when someone asked, "What do you do?" you had a ready answer. "I'm a teacher. I'm an engineer. I'm a manager. I'm a nurse." Those titles weren't just jobs. They were anchors in the social world, shorthand for who you were and what you contributed. When you left your job, you might not have realized how much of your identity was wrapped up in that role. It just felt so natural. But the moment you stepped away, something shifted. Now when someone asks that question, you hesitate. "Well, I used to be," you start. But that's not quite right either, is it? Because you're not that anymore. So who are you? When you're no longer defined by what you do, when the role that gave you structure and purpose has dissolved, what remains? The part of you that cared about being seen professionally, it just goes silent. Not in a sad way, honestly, but in a freeing way. This can trigger a profound identity crisis. The person staring back at you in the mirror hasn't changed, but somehow you feel unmoored, invisible, like you've lost not just a job, but yourself, and in a way you have. But here's the beautiful paradox the Buddha taught. You were never that role to begin with. This is the profound invitation to meet what Buddhists call anatta, the truth of no fixed self. The Buddha taught that we are not our roles, not our titles, not our achievements. These are temporary labels, costumes we wear for a while and then take off. They were never who we truly are. Retirement asks you to remove the costume and discover what's underneath. There's a beautiful Buddhist parable about an old monk who carried water from the river every day using 2 clay pots tied to either end of a pole balanced across his shoulders. One pot was perfect, holding every drop. The other had a crack and leaked water along the path. After years of this, the cracked pot finally spoke to the monk in shame. "I'm worthless. Every day you work hard to carry water, and I lose half of it. The perfect pot does what it's supposed to. I fail." The monk smiled gently. "Have you noticed the flowers that grow along the path on your side? I planted seeds there, knowing you would water them with your leek. The perfect pot waters nothing, but you, in your imperfection, have created beauty that feeds many. Your crack isn't a failure, it's your purpose." This story speaks to what happens when we release our attachment to being perfect or successful or any other role we thought defined us. The cracks, the changes, the letting go of what we used to be, these aren't losses, they're openings, ways that something real can finally emerge. When you retire, your identity starts rebuilding itself around who you actually are, not what you do. You begin to see yourself as a whole person, not a title. And the more it happens, the more natural it feels. That shift doesn't come all at once, but when you realize it's happening, it's incredibly grounding. So here's your practice. Write down 3 ways you used to introduce yourself. Maybe it was, I'm a project manager at Microsoft, or I'm the head of the English department, or I'm a contractor who built homes for 35 years. Let yourself feel whatever arises. Grief, pride, loss. Those identities were real, they mattered. Now write down 3 truths about who you are right now. Not what you did, but who you've become. Maybe it's I listen deeply when people talk, or I notice beauty in small things. The way light falls across the kitchen counter, the first crocus pushing through snow, or I'm learning to be gentle with myself when I forget things. These aren't impressive titles. They won't impress anyone at a party, but they're truer than any job description ever was, because they point to something that can't be taken away when circumstances change. They point to your essence, not the roles you played, but the awareness that witnessed all of it. The Buddha's teaching, be a lamp unto yourself, takes on new meaning here. For decades your light was reflected through roles, through what you did for others. Now you finally have the space to discover what that light looks like when it shines, simply because it is, not performing for anyone, not trying to prove anything, just being. This isn't the loss of identity. This is the discovery of it. You were never just a job title. You were always more than what you produced. And now, in the silence where all that noise used to be, you get to meet yourself, imperfect, evolving, free, not who you thought you should be, not who others needed you to be, just who you are. And who you are is enough, more than enough, whole. These 7 silences: work friendships fading, career motivation dissolving, daily structure disappearing, performance pressure melting away, constant urgency evaporating, work-tied ambition softening, and professional identity going quiet. They're not endings, they're openings. Each one is an invitation to step through a doorway you've been approaching your entire life, but never quite had time to enter. The Buddha taught that dukkha, suffering, arises from our resistance to change. We cling to what's familiar, even when it no longer serves us. We grasp at roles, identities, structures, believing they make us real, but they were always just weather patterns passing through. And now that they've passed, what remains is what was always there beneath them, your essential self, unchanging in its capacity to notice, to feel, to love, to be. Retirement shapes your life quietly. It's not good or bad. It's just a completely new way of being. These aren't losses to mourn. They're invitations you've been preparing for. All those decades of striving and achieving and proving yourself, they taught you important things. They gave you skills, wisdom, resilience, but they were never meant to be permanent. They were chapters in a much longer story, and now you're finally free to write the ending on your own terms. If you expect these shifts, you can meet them with a lot more grace. You can build new connections with people who understand this season of life. You can create new routines that serve the life you actually want, not the life work demanded. And you can let your life become something that feels full and true to who you are now. This silence you're hearing isn't emptiness, it's spaciousness. Room for something new to emerge. Permission to discover who you are when nobody's watching, when nobody's measuring, when there's nothing left to prove. The Buddha promised that peace is born from within, unshaken by the changing world outside. And now you have the extraordinary opportunity to test that promise for yourself. So what will you do with this quiet? How will you fill these open days? The Dharma suggests, don't rush to fill them at all. Sit with the silence first. Let it teach you. Notice what arises when there's finally space for it. You might discover longings you've suppressed for decades. You might hear your soul's quiet voice, the one that's been trying to speak to you beneath all the noise. You might find that doing less creates room for being more. Build new rhythms, yes, but let them arise from listening, not from habit. Choose new connections, absolutely, but let them be based on genuine resonance, not convenience. Let your energy serve your soul instead of your resume. Live in the present instead of the imagined future. Rest without guilt, knowing that rest itself is sacred work. The Buddha's final teaching was this: all conditioned things are impermanent. Continue with awareness. Your work life was conditioned, built on circumstances that were always going to change. Now it has. And you're still here, still breathing, still capable of presence, of love, of growth. That was never conditioned, that was always yours. So walk through this silence not with fear, but with gentle curiosity. Discover what it means to build a life from the inside out instead of the outside in. You're not closing a chapter, you're opening one. And this chapter, unlike all the others, you finally get to write freely. Not for anyone else. Not to prove anything, just because you're here, and you're alive, and the page is blank, and the story isn't over yet. The silence is full of possibility. Can you hear it? Not the absence of sound, but the presence of space. Space for peace. Space for discovery. Space for the most important journey of all, the one that leads you home to yourself. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, exploring these 7 silences. If this resonated with you, if it helped you understand your own journey a little bit better, or made you feel less alone in what you're experiencing, I would be deeply grateful if you'd leave a comment sharing which silence spoke to you most. Your words might light the way for someone else who's walking this path behind you. And if you're finding value in these Buddhist perspectives on aging with grace and wisdom, please consider subscribing to continue this journey together. There's so much more to explore, about letting go, about finding purpose beyond productivity, about aging not as decline, but as the ripening of everything you've learned. The silence isn't something to fear, it's an invitation you've earned, and you don't have to walk through it alone.